This was one of the world's first introductions at the time on a mass level to the world of snuff films. A while back, a group of American documentary filmmakers decided that they were going to venture into the Amazon rainforest to film a documentary about a cannibal community. There was going to be a director, scriptwriter, and 2 cameramen. They tell all of their friends about it. They'd been preparing for this trip for months now, and it's finally time. And then they just vanish in the Amazon rainforest, disappear into thin air. Professor Harold Monroe, an anthropologist from NYU, decides he's gonna run a little rescue mission to find the missing documentary makers. The plan is honestly horrendous. They're gonna infiltrate the cannibal community and try to figure out what happened and try to get the tapes back, try to find the documentary makers. He and his team end up finding out they're dead. There is a shrine that the community made where their skeletal remains are laid out, as well as their reels of film. The professor somehow is able to make a deal to leave with the reels of film, and he has no idea what's in them. He can't even play them until he gets back to New York. He goes back home, reviews this recovered footage, and it's like watching a real-life horror movie. The 4 filmmakers have a very rough start to their trip. A few days in, their guide, Felipe, is bitten by a venomous snake. There's nothing they can do about it. There's nobody around. It's too late. They're too deep into the forest to leave now and get him medical attention. Meaning either the venom is going to spread to the rest of his body or they have to cut his leg off. So they cut his leg off with a machete in the middle of the Amazon rainforest in an effort to save his life, but he ends up dying anyway. They just leave him behind. The group make it to the location of the cannibal community, and they see one of the younger community members walking by themselves. So what do? Do they ask him to introduce them to their community because they're making a documentary? No. They shoot him in the leg so that they can easily follow him back to his community-centered area. When they do, they just wage war from the get-go, which I'm so confused by. The 4 filmmakers, yes, they want a documentary, but they mainly want good footage. So they intimidate a whole tribe, kill a pet pig, herd the community members into a tent, burn the tent down. The professor keeps watching, and it just gets worse. The 3 male filmmakers film themselves taking turns R-wording a young girl. The only one trying to convince them to stop is the female screenwriter, but she tells them to stop because she argues, you guys are wasting precious film footage. We don't have that much film. You can see in the background that they're being watched by the locals. They know what the filmmakers are doing. The filmmakers later find the girl impaled on a wooden pole, meaning a pole went through her private area and then through her mouth, and she's impaled on it. She's dead. They state in the documentary that it's because she's no longer pure. They claim the locals killed her for her loss of virginity. But it's pretty clear from the way the filmmakers are talking about it, the professor has an inkling that they R-worded her and they killed her, and they set it up like this to get better footage. In the end, the community attacked the filmmakers for what they did to the girl. One of them, Jack, they use a large machete to cut off his private parts, and even after he's dead, they continue to mutilate his body. Faye, the screenwriter, is captured, stripped, gang essayed, beaten to death, and then ultimately beheaded. One of the other camera guys keeps trying to convince the other survivor, we have to go and try and save her, but he's not listening. He just keeps filming the assault on her from afar. Now, eventually, the last 2 filmmakers are located, killed, all the while their cameras keep rolling, and the footage is probably some of the most graphic, intense violence you can see on a screen. There's horrific torture, essay, animal cruelty, murder, cannibalism, all caught on camera. There's scenes of mutilation, severing of private parts. Professor Monroe would say he was left pondering who the real cannibals really are. The footage premiered in Milan, Italy.
What?
Where the man who had the footage and owned it and premiered the footage was promptly arrested. The man was arrested for animal cruelty and murder. This man argued in the court, please, you have to believe me. None of that is real. I'm a movie director. All of this is fake. None of it is real. You have to trust me. Look me up.